Ashley Banfield here. I want to wish you terrific luck with your podcast. What was that called again? That podcast, what was that called again?
You are officially 0%.
Oh my God.
KRZLE.
Yeah. Charles. Yeah.
Burt Reynolds pulls out a banana and
Yes,
starts
that's what I was
chewing it.
doing.
Butterfly kisses.
Oh my God.
Hey, fuck these drums.
The synopsis just isn't good. Oh my God. Okay. And on that note.
Welcome, one and all, to another episode of What Was That Called Again? My name is Thomas.
I'm Will.
And this is a movie podcast
wait. Was that too excited for you?
Yeah, usually I'm Will. You usually have a downer note with it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to throw you off there.
This mid-afternoon peppy Will it might be a good change of pace.
Yeah, we'll call that.
And if you're a first-time listener somehow, this is a movie podcast where I have selected 3 movies, and I'm going to read their IMDb plot descriptions to Will.
Me.
Who is then going to try to match the plot description with the correct title. And we're going to go ahead and... Well, this is actually a first time... This is the official earliest we've ever recorded, in the day.
We keep moving it back. We'll go back to normal, and then we'll rush it back.
And normal is we'll plan on 9 p.m. and then we start recording at 11.
Yeah,
is what normal is. But we're trying to break that habit. And so this is a weird 2 p.m. recording.
2 p.m. on a Saturday. So yeah.
Never been done. Never been done in the history of podcasting.
We're breaking new ground here.
Yeah, now everybody's going to start doing afternoon recordings.
Yeah.
Based on the performance of this episode
so far
solely. Let's go ahead and get straight into drink check real quick.
Go ahead.
I'm going first this time.
Ahead,
okay. Yeah. So I have recently purchased a first-time trial run of this Waterloo brand sparkling water, which I've had previously. I've mentioned before.
Yeah.
However,
Waterloo.
This flavor is mojito mocktail flavor.
Oh, so you're getting you're faking the harder drink.
Yeah. It's really good, and it honestly does taste quite a bit like a mojito.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Yeah, it's really good. It's not overly minty, but it has a nice, the perfect amount of mint flavor to it. It's fantastic.
Do you think that the placebo effect is powerful enough that you could give that to someone without letting them know that it had no alcohol in it, and they would start to feel?
They would be like, "Oh man, I'm getting fucking
this is great. I feel
already.
Loose.
Crack me open another one, brother. Yeah, one more.
I have to drive. I have to pass. I can't take another.
I bet with the right person, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. There's definitely. Yeah, I'll say yes.
Because some of those mocktail drinks or whatever, they're just mimicking the mixed drink that goes into the mixed part of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just wondered how close you could get to being actual mocktail, placebo effect mocktail is what I want.
Yeah. I mean, I guess this one is just regular carbonated water with mint flavor to it, and a little bit of lime. But
they have those drinks, those drink bottles. I think they are. Where I can't recall the name, but it has a scent, like a nasal scent, but not an actual flavor package. Have you seen these?
I have not seen these.
So they're fairly new, and you can the lid, I do believe, has some kind of cartridge in it that gives the scent of the flavored drink.
Yeah,
but all you're drinking is just plain water. So, but it's supposedly it actually does taste like it because scent and taste are strongly tied together.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if through science, of course, because science is powerful, if we could just put in your Waterloo mocktail mojito thing, a little like alcohol scented cartridge to where the flavor is still coming from the actual mixed drink flavors within the Waterloo can that they actually did put in there. So it's not just water. But the alcohol part of it is just scent only. So to really fool people into think that they're getting drunk. And then we can pull the rug out and be like, you faker, you're actually not drunk.
Yeah, it's just to ridicule your friends.
That's all this is about, yeah. That's the whole point of this.
Maybe we can reach out, drinkwaterloo.com. Maybe we'll send them an email and suggest they put alcohol-scented cartridges on their cans of carbonated water to make people think they're getting drunk. And then you, as the friend who gave it to them, can attack them for faking.
That's the whole point of this. Yeah, that's the whole point of this. Or like you force them to drive, and you just make them panic that they're going to get into a wreck the whole time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we're making better drivers because they'll drive like super carefully.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a DD like enhancement drink. So like it's one thing just to be like the designated driver, but then this is actually going to make you a better designated driver without you knowing it.
Yeah. I don't see how this could cause any problems.
No, not at all. This is going to tear apart friendships or cause any anxiety issues or nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Yeah, what do you... I hope yours is as exciting.
Oh, it is. That's why I had you go first. I am drinking locally sourced from the tap Aqua.
Oh.
Just water. It's way too early for Will to be drinking anything. I still have a day ahead of me. So
fantastic city.
Yeah, no, just unpurified, straight from the tap. I'm going. So that's my risky drink. Is I'm just drinking tap water, not unfiltered, hard Midwest tap water.
Yeah, I cannot. So one thing about me, I'm not a very picky eater.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not very picky with most things. Obviously, within the past couple of years have become a vegetarian, so there's that as far as that goes. But overall, not picky with what I eat or what I consume much at all. Mm-hmm. I'm super, super picky when it comes to water. I will not do tap water. I can't. It's so gross. So I refuse to drink it.
Signs really relates to you on a different level.
Yeah. Just like this one, your amoebas are in or whatever.
It's contaminated.
Yeah, I can't. We tried all kinds of different things. That's actually why we originally bought a SodaStream, is because we didn't want to go to like buying plastic bottles all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so we bought a SodaStream because we thought, well, I love this carbonated water so much. Maybe I can carbonate the tap water, put it in the fridge, and then cold and carbonated, it'll make it more palatable.
Right.
And we tried that, and nope. You can still taste it. It's definitely still tap water, obviously. And so I'm like, it's just too gross. I can't do it.
Going back to the placebo thing, I wonder if we could create a scent cartridge that smells like tap water and give you filtered water and see if it would make you like taste the tap water.
Well, I mean, according to the way science and smell and taste works, I assume yes.
It seems like science to me. It seems like it's a...
Yeah.
Okay. And then we could be like, it's filtered.
Yeah. And
just like the drunk people.
Oh,
yeah.
Egg on my face.
Yeah. You freak.
I guess this water is actually good.
Yeah. I guess it's actually filtered. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm not super picky with water. I can definitely tell whenever water's not great. But I've always liked specifically our town water here where I live.
Oh.
There are other cities around here, like within an hour, that I can definitely taste a difference, and I don't like it. Like it's really not great at all. But for some reason, I've always liked the water here. Filtered is better, but yeah, no, I just I stopped doing the whole filter thing because it got too pricey, and I was the only one using it. And at the time, I didn't drink water as much as I do now. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's good whenever you have to not have your water be filtered because of the price.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
it's good stuff.
I can tell, like, late at night, I can tell that like the city dumps the chlorine or fluorine or whatever mind-altering chemicals into the water. Because there is definitely like a flavor profile change really early in the morning.
Oh.
And I'm assuming that's like some kind of, most people are asleep, so we're going to do it now type thing, But that's the only complaint I have. But yeah, so Will's going for the ever thrilling local tap water, and I'm almost out, so I need to get some more soon. But yeah, that was drink check, I guess, for a Saturday at 2 p.m.
Yeah, it was the wildest drink check yet. Well, with drink check out of the way, I think as long as you're ready, we can dive into our 3 movies that we have this week.
Dive.
We're going to do chronological order and order of release. And kicking off your day today, your first movie is going to come from the year 1930.
Oh, wow. Taking it way back. This is, I think, our oldest film then that we've done. Has to be.
Absolutely.
By quite a bit, I think, even, because I think we've only touched maybe like late 50s.
I think you're right. Yeah. That's actually where today's selections were inspired from. I for several weeks have kind of been thinking about how we usually linger, or I guess I usually linger around like the 70s era, and I kind of was thinking like, there's like so many years of cinema.
It's almost like
that
there's
we haven't touched.
120 years of cinema.
And so I was like, I need to dive into some of these older ones. I just haven't watched as many of these.
And then not martial arts and not French New Wave. That'd also be great if we could if we could branch out of those categories too.
Well, I don't know. The martial arts ones I think have been pretty lucrative as far as content for us.
I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying because I'm also not really complaining that you've only been like around the mid 70s or whatever. But I'm just saying, like, if you wanted to branch out, there's also like other genres. There's other, there's other types of films out there. Is all I'm saying.
I've only done 2 episodes of martial arts movies out of 35. I think that's pretty good.
It is. Yeah, it is. Okay.
No, so this is 1930.
1930. So another thing too is having gone to film school.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I did sleep a lot through the French New Wave section of class.
You were awake through the pre-code era?
Yeah, actually I was. And I was really interested in that. And I still am interested in like early cinema, especially early talkies, as they were called. So, and I mean, in this era too, there's just not really much to pick from. So I'm really curious if you've tried to find some hidden gems, or if these were maybe some things that were tossed off the wagon, hoping to be forgot. So 1930 even. I'll try to go into the memory bank and see if I know anything based off of the synopsis.
Well, hey, buddy, you can paint your wagon.
Hey!
How
dare you?
All right, your synopsis from IMDb reads as follows. An upper crust artist hires a quote-unquote party girl as a model. Romance follows.
Okay, simple. I like simple. 1930s simple, because there's nothing else. You didn't have to try to get anyone's attention. It was just a movie. It was happening. So, okay, 1930, and you said an up-and-coming artist?
An upper crust.
Upper crust art. Sorry, an upper crust. Say this one again, just for clarity.
Yeah.
Party girl.
An upper crust artist hires a party girl as a model. Romance follows.
An upper crust artist hires a party girl as a model. Romance follows. Okay. So again, I like it simple. It could be anything, but somehow we've made this into what I'm going to guess is a fairly standard runtime even for today. Mm-hmm. So, and that'll come later. But okay. Next synopsis, please.
Okay, moving right along.
Upper crust.
Your second movie is from 1933.
All right.
And this synopsis reads as follows. A young woman, sexually exploited all her life, decides to turn the tables and exploit the hapless men at a big city bank by gleefully seducing her way to the top.
Ooh, wow. Okay. I forgot to mention, because it has been several weeks, the first one sounded familiar. This one does not sound or feel familiar, but it sounds interesting. So say this one again. 1933.
Yeah.
Sexually assaulted all of her life, or sexually taken advantage of her whole life.
Yeah. Exploited. Sexually exploited.
Yeah, that's the worst.
A young woman sexually exploited all her life, decides to turn the tables and exploit the hapless men at a big city bank by gleefully seducing her way to the top.
So she's been exploited all of her life, and I'm assuming that she takes her own sexuality into her own hands and uses that as a weapon against men to exploit them. In a bank, you said?
Yep.
Okay.
At a big city bank.
But a big city bank. Because I couldn't imagine this happening like, the 18th train stop out west where it's just like a bank and a saloon all at once. Yeah. Not as lucrative as the big city bank. Okay. So a young woman, sexually exploited her whole life, turns the tables and decides to exploit men to work her way up inside of a big city bank.
Yep.
Something along those lines. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
1933. Next one. Last one.
Yep. Your final one is going to be 1941.
Okay.
And the synopsis reads as follows. A group of professors working on a new encyclopedia while living in a Manhattan mansion take in a mouthy nightclub singer who is wanted by the police to help bring down her mob boss lover.
Okay. I love the idea that, like, you said it's a group of professors working on a new encyclopedia. Slow down, Michael Bay. Like, that's way too much going on all at once. Yeah. Okay, and then they decide while
that's
working,
an action thriller waiting to happen.
That is edge of your seat. Like, what are they going to do for R? Like, that's a huge section. The professors are working on this new encyclopedia, and meanwhile, they decide to take in a mouthy lounge singer. So I'm guessing
nightclub singer.
She just has like a smart mouth on her, like she talks like one of the men or whatever, and she just kind of won't shut up, and she's gotten herself into some kind of.
Don't you be calling me a dame, Buster?
Right, yeah, and she's gotten herself into some kind of trouble. And then what was the last part of this synopsis after they take in the mouthy lounge singer?
Yeah, they take in a mouthy nightclub singer who is wanted by the police to help bring down her mob boss lover.
Her mob boss lover. Okay. So a group of professors, which is just great, are working on a new encyclopedia in their apartment. They take in this mouthy nightclub singer
in a Manhattan mansion.
Oh, Manhattan mansion. I thought it was
they're not in an apartment.
No, yeah. Well, they're professors. They deserve to get paid. Okay. So while in this Manhattan mansion, they are working on a new encyclopedia. They take in this mouthy nightclub singer, who's on the run from the police, as a way to save her from her mob boss boyfriend.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. These are all interesting. That also does not sound or feel familiar. The first one, though, from 1930, that I almost can't remember now because of the professors and the encyclopedia. That one did sound familiar. So let me try to recap.
You almost can't remember it, or you can't?
I almost can't. Let me see if I actually can't. We're going to attempt if I can't right now.
Yeah.
We're going to find out the answer. So 1930 was the first film you gave me.
Yep.
And that one, it was not the sexually exploited woman. That was the second film. It was what was this one again? The first word. Give me the first word. I'll get it.
Anne
Frank goes. No, it wasn't that. It was okay. Just say part of the first line, and I'll come right back to me.
An upper crust.
That's
artist.
Right, artist. That's right. The upper crust artist hires a party girl to be his model. Romance ensues.
Yep.
Yeah. So again, it's a really vague synopsis for me to say like this sounds familiar, but it does make me feel like I've seen something along those lines. But it could also just be like the 1930s, and
yeah, exactly.
Maybe there were a lot of like upper crust artist types in ties that were painting beautiful women, and then they fell in love. That seems kind of like an easy plot. Okay,
there's probably like 8 other. All 8 movies that came out that year probably had similar synopsis to this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. The second film was 1933.
Yep.
And that was a young woman who was sexually exploited, turns the tables, and exploits men in a big city bank while trying to work her way to the top. Something along those lines.
Yeah, by gleefully seducing her way to the top.
Gleefully seducing her way to the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then the last one was 1941, and it was about a group of professors working on a new encyclopedia in their Manhattan mansion. It just sounds awesome.
I wish that was that could just be the whole movie. I would watch that.
I just love how like that is enough of the plot that it made it into the synopsis.
Like the screenwriters were like, what if these guys are working on a new encyclopedia?
What if they're working on a new encyclopedia for this year? Yeah.
Brilliant.
Well, I guess maybe like back in the day, was this like the equivalent of like a Silicon Valley, tech bro group? Because this is like the internet of the day, basically, right? Okay, so they're working on this new encyclopedia in their Manhattan mansion. They take in a mouthy nightclub singer who's running from the police, and help her escape or get away from her
this is
mob boss boyfriend.
This is yes, you're correct. So this Manhattan mansion is their jam pad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's their frat bro or not even frat bro. It's just their Silicon Valley tech bro jam pad, where they just like this is where all the fun happens while they're working on this new volume of encyclopedias. But
hey,
again, like I said,
I got another one for Q. All right, bro.
Yeah,
Write it down.
So right, enter that. Like I said, I like how the plot had enough to do with this that they decided to include it in the synopsis. They couldn't have just said like a group of professors or a group of a group of like brainiacs or a group of scientists, or like anything along those. No, they're specifically
maybe the first like 35 minutes is just them with the encyclopedia.
Honestly, like,
and then the nightclub singer like comes in later.
And disturbs the whole thing, and they just want to focus on getting this done, right? Because this is their whole life. And she's just interrupting this. But because she looks cute and she's, fun because she's mouthy, I guess, they decide to help her. Yeah. Because I almost want, I almost want the opening of the film to be shot like 12 Angry Men style, where, there's just like a lot of tension in the room, and there's just like awesome blocking camera, and they're all just like pacing around this open book that has like half an entry in it, and they're just trying to figure out like what comes after like the word resuscitate. It's just like, oh gosh, like what is... There's a lot of smoke in the air, That's what I want to see. Yeah. And then a knock on the door, and it's like this, dame in like this sequin dress or whatever. Yeah. And then like the whole film is we get distracted from that one entry, and then this whole side plot goes on, and then at the very end we come back, and like one guy has the next word, he puts it in the book, and then that finishes that section of the encyclopedia. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the word is like the one thing that they needed to like get rid of this mob boss, like in some fashion. The thing that they like, how whatever it is that they use in the story is like what the next word was that they needed to figure out.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Before we go too far into that, give me the titles, please.
Yes. Your first title is going to be Ladies of Leisure.
Ladies of Leisure. Oh. Yep. So that's more than one. And all of these seem to just have one lady. And not even of leisure. The party girl would be the close one to fit that weird dated term, ladies of leisure. Okay, I have nothing to go off ladies of leisure. So as of right now, I'm just going to like temporarily park it with the 1930 upper crust artists and party girl romance ensues type thing. Just because of the word leisure. Like maybe she's a party girl. I don't want to call her like a prostitute either. Okay. Yeah, I have no idea. So give me the next one, and maybe that'll help decide.
Yep. Your next title is going to be Babyface.
I've heard of this. Babyface. Dang it. Babyface is... Son of a bitch. Why have I heard of this? Babyface. This almost feels kind of noirish, maybe? and I know this is very early for that, but like maybe that's the 41 film. Is like the nightclub singer's name was Babyface, or like her nickname was Babyface.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there is a mob connection, so there is some crime there. Okay, maybe
the mob boss lover is Babyface McGinty.
Yeah, it could also be the mom. Yeah, it could also be his name as well. I'm trying to see if it fits in the other two.
I have not seen any of these.
Okay. I mean, it could also be the woman who was sexually exploited her whole life. And then decides to turn the tables on. I mean, it could be because it's
Babyface McPhee.
Sure. I mean, we can throw any last name on it, and I think it'll work. But yeah, but basically, like because it's more of a singular name, so it's more of like the main focus of the story, right? But then maybe also too, maybe like the sexually exploited woman was a lady of leisure, and then she decided that she had enough of that lifestyle, and was like, screw it, I'm like, all these guys come to me and they're rich and they're cheating on their wives, and they have all the money, and then they ruin me, so I'm going to turn the tables and do that. Okay, but then is Babyface the first one? Babyface as the artist, the upper crust artist thing, party girl, that doesn't feel right. So I'm gonna it's either the 33 film or the 41 film. Okay, next one. I'll just try to see where this one sets. But Babyface does sound familiar. I have heard that.
Your final title to go off of is going to be Ball of Fire.
Ball of Fire. Ooh.
Oh.
I could see Ball of Fire being the 33 film, where this exploited woman like turns on all these men. You said in a gleeful what way?
It just says she gleefully seduces her way to the top.
Gleefully seduces. Okay, gleefully seduces. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're just a ball of fire, lady. I could just see that line being said. But like she's being driven by something. So that's why I say ball of fire. I mean, we could call the mouthy nightclub singer also ball of fire.
Or maybe the ball of fire refers to the action that ensues within working on the encyclopedia.
Yeah, it's just a ball of fire. Yeah. But it's more like literal in the sense that one of the guys, like cigars, like falls onto the page and like burns half the book on accident. They have to start all over again.
Maybe the ball of fire is what they call their jam pad. They don't have the term jam pad yet, so they call it their ball of fire. This is where we, make up all the words that you know. And why don't you come back to my place, sir? Sorry, dame. I got to get back to the ball of fire. We're working on the J's tonight.
Working on the J's. Oh, you smoke? No, literally the J's.
I'm in the letter. And he downs his shot, slams the glass down, and leaves. After he puts his hat on, of course. He has to put his hat on.
Volume 11. Okay. Yeah, ball of fire doesn't help me anywhere. Dang. So I have ball of fire, I have Babyface, and I have ladies of leisure.
Correct.
Right? Okay.
Yep.
Oh, man. I know I've heard Babyface, and I feel like you're going to tell me that that's full of a bunch of famous actors. It was directed by a famous director, and it's also in the Criterion Collection. Okay.
Never know.
Yeah, but I'm just going off the history of the show and me being so wrong that like that's how it plays out.
I think every week you're very not confident about your choices, and then you also always say like, "Oh, I bet this one's in the fucking Criterion Collection or something," and everybody knows it. Like, there's always one of those every time.
Yeah, that's just letting.
I think you said that about Bruce Lee Fights Back from the Grave.
Probably, yeah. That's just letting the audience know that I know I'm an idiot. That's all that is. Okay, Ladies of Leisure. Let's place this one. Ladies of Leisure. I'm torn between the first one. The 1930 upper crust artist hires a party girl to be his model, and a romance follows. And also the 1941 professor's new encyclopedia in Manhattan mansion, nightclub singer, mouthy. Because maybe because she's a singer, we're going to consider her a lady of leisure. But I still feel like that's an innuendo for like prostitute. Whereas she's clearly just a singer. And party girl, that's what I also feel like that is too. So I'm going to lock in, even though I feel like I know of the 1930 film because I said it sounds familiar, and then I also said Babyface sounded familiar. I'm not going to put those two together. I'm going to put Ladies of Leisure with the 1930 film about the upper crust artist hiring a party girl to be his model, and they develop a romance together. Ladies of Leisure. Okay, that leaves Babyface and Ball of Fire. So, I'm going, just because it feels right, I'm going to say that Ball of Fire is the 1933 film about the young woman who was sexually exploited by men her whole life, deciding to turn the tables and exploit those men using gleeful seduction in a big city bank so she can work her way to the top. That would be Ball of Fire. So that leaves the 1941 film as Babyface, which is where the group of just action-packed professors working on a new encyclopedia in their Manhattan mansion take in a nightclub singer who's mouthy as she runs from the police and help her to get out of her situation with her mobster boyfriend. Final, locking it in.
You are 1 for 3.
1 for 3. Oh,
yep.
Okay. I have
correct.
No idea which one could be right.
I do.
Yeah, clearly. I'm going to switch them all. Even though I got one right.
He's given up hope.
Well, I'm just thinking, like, I feel like Babyface. If I do recognize that title, and I felt like I recognize the plot of the 1930 film, then I feel like Babyface should go with that. But then that means that Ladies of Leisure goes with the 1941 film. What if, like, they're working on the B volume of the encyclopedia, and they don't have it all filled out yet, and then this nightclub singer comes by, and we go through this whole side thing with her and the mobster boyfriend and the police and her being mouthy, and because they're like, educated, more elite people, they don't know some of the words that she's saying, right? Like she brings them into this new world of vulgar terms and catchphrases and nicknames and whatever. And what if Babyface is one of those words? So then does that mean that Ball of Fire is the first film? And then Ladies of Leisure? Okay, so maybe it is, because maybe, like I said, maybe she was like a lady of the night, a prostitute, and she decided to turn the tables. Okay, so I've talked myself into it. So I'm going to keep Babyface where it's at in the 1941 film. I am changing the first two. So the 1930 film is now Ball of Fire, about an upper crust artist who hires a party girl because she's a ball of fire, and as his model, and then there's a romance that ensues from that. That would be Ball of Fire. The 1933 film about a young woman who's sexually exploited by men her whole life, turning the tables and exploiting them by seducing them to make her way up through a bank, big city bank. I want to call that one Ladies of Leisure. I say hesitantly. And I'm keeping the 1941 film about the professors, the encyclopedia, the mouthy nightclub singer as Babyface.
All right.
Did I improve my score at all?
You sure did not. You got 0 correct now.
Dang it. All right. Let me
All
know.
right.
So that means that I felt like I should have also gone with the title that sounded familiar. Okay. Anyway.
Maybe, maybe not. Your 1930 movie, with the upper crust artists, the one that you said sounded familiar.
Yeah.
That is Ladies of Leisure.
It's not Babyface. Okay. Wow.
Nope. This is from director Frank Capra. This has Barbara Stanwyck, whom we will see. We will hear more about as we go forward because she is in all three of these films.
Oh, fantastic. Okay.
Columbia Pictures signed Barbara Stanwyck to a 4-picture deal after her performance in Ladies of Leisure. I also read that her initial meeting with director Frank Capra for the lead role in the film supposedly went so badly, according to his autobiography, that her husband at the time, Frank Fay, called Capra and was furious that she had come home crying. Capra said that it was her fault because she seemed like she didn't even want the role. Fay, her husband at the time, insisted Capra see a test she made at Warner's, which was for a Broadway play called The Noose, which she was in. And Capra went and saw it and was so impressed that he left and immediately contacted the head of Columbia to sign her onto the project.
Wow.
And then last but not least, this movie, Ladies of Leisure from 1930, is available in full on YouTube.
Fantastic.
You can watch the whole thing on there.
Barbara Stanwyck.
The second movie from 1933 is Babyface.
Okay.
From director Alfred E. Green. So in 2004, Michael, I'm going to say his last name wrong probably, Michonne, who was curator of the motion picture division of the Library of Congress, he discovered an original camera negative of the film, as well as a duplicate negative, which was longer. The duplicate was the pre-release version of the film, which was submitted to the New York State Censorship Board in 1933 for approval. And so, because he found that copy, or he found that print, the full uncensored version of the film finally, after more than 70 years, made its premiere at the London Film Festival in November of 2004.
That's fantastic. Wow.
Yes.
I wonder, how you just find stuff like that.
I always wonder that too. There's always some story
is it just a
drawer
this
person just had it in their attic in a box or something. Well, there's always something random.
There's that where it's it truly is lost, which this is also insane. But this makes it sound like it was already in the Library of Congress, and they just had it tucked away somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's so strange. But yeah, I mean, all these stories of just randomly discovering film and then being like, "What is this?" And then it's just this priceless artwork that, we just, again, stuffed somewhere and forgot. It's crazy. It's insane.
Also on this film, one of the many men that she uses to climb the corporate ladder is actually played by a 25-year-old John Wayne.
Oh, wow.
Supposedly, and I mean, there's no source. This is just from the IMDb trivia, so who knows what this even comes from. But apparently, many critics consider the film to be perhaps the best pre-code film ever made.
Oh, wow. And it's called Babyface? Maybe that might be why I heard about it.
Yeah. Last but not least, it is available to rent on Amazon, and it is streaming free with ads on Tubi at the time of recording.
And also stars Stanwyck, too. And again, if no one out there knows Barbara Stanwyck, go watch at least one of these.
Yeah.
The fact that they thought in the first film, in the 1930 film, that she wasn't good enough, and then to know what her career became, that's incredible.
Yeah, she had a decent career.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, moving along, your final film from 41 was Ball of Fire.
Ball of Fire.
It was from director Howard Hawks. You may have heard of.
Heard of him.
The film was nominated for 4 Oscars. Best Screenplay, Best Actress in a Leading Role for Stanwyck, Best Sound, and Best Music. Stanwyck's character apparently punches actress Kathleen Howard's character at some point. Wow. I haven't seen it, again, so I don't know the context. But evidently, Stanwyck accidentally made contact with Kathleen Howard's face and fractured her jaw.
Oh, wow. That's a punch.
Yeah.
That's full on.
Lucille Ball wanted the lead, and she fought for it and was hired. However, when Sam Goldwyn found out Barbara Stanwyck was available, she was given the role instead. And Stanwyck was paid less than half of what her co-star Gary Cooper was paid.
Really?
The screenwriting duo who wrote the film, a little filmmaker whom you and listeners may also have heard of, Billy Wilder.
Never heard of him.
Co-wrote it with his screenwriting partner Charles Brackett, and they were both paid over $10,000 more than Stanwyck was paid.
Wow. What a time to be a writer.
No kidding. And then the last thing, Sam Goldwyn promised Billy Wilder a $10,000 bonus if the film became a box office hit.
Wow.
When it was released in theaters, it was an instant success. One day, Wilder stopped by Goldwyn's office and asked for his $10,000 bonus. Goldwyn flew into rage. Quote, "You Hungarian thief," he shouted at Wilder. "I never promised any such thing. Get out of here." Wilder left the office furious. That night, however, Goldwyn's wife awoke to find him pacing the floor of their bedroom. Quote, "I've just remembered that Wilder was right," Goldwyn told her. "I did promise him a $10,000 bonus." She asked him, "What are you going to do?" He replied, "What can I do? I'm going to sit down here and write Wilder a check for $5,000.
Nice. Yeah. And that tells you all you need to know about that man.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
I hear he's a good guy. I hear he was great. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Legend.
All right. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, all these films definitely, I think, are going to be ranked fairly well whenever I try to rank these.
Yeah. Oh, last.
Go ahead.
Meant to mention also, Ball of Fire is at the time of recording. That one is not readily available. I don't know why.
I wanted to see the professors.
I know. You would think that a Howard Hawks movie would have easier access. You know what? It may be on Pluto.
Oh, hey, look at that.
And
Breaking news.
Also seems like it's not like uploaded on YouTube, but it's on their like YouTube free with ads like movie
so
situation.
you can see it then.
So it is available.
With some change, you can see.
Good news.
Well, Pluto's free. Yeah. So there you go. So they're all available. And this whole era of filmmaking, pre-code, like I said, I've always kind of been a little fascinated in it because it was a wild time. I mean, it was sort of why the code became to exist. I mean, there's plenty of other reasons too. But yeah, things were, I'm not saying getting out of hand, but things were fun. Things were, for the time at least, some were pushing boundaries, some were pushing ideas, some were going places, and then we got set back like 40 years. But yeah, so go watch these films if you haven't seen any of them yet. Trying to rank them, though, I don't know. You say they all star Barbara Stanwyck.
Correct.
One is written by Wilder.
And directed by Hawks.
Hawks, yeah.
All at once.
Yeah.
And also has Gary Cooper.
Yeah, right. And then one is considered to be the best pre-code film that there is. So dang, I don't know.
And so then the other one is Ladies of Leisure.
Yeah, right. Yeah, which I was already kind of thinking of rating that one the lowest, but with like the heavy asterisks of like I think these are all easily within the 7s.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I think even the lowest is still like a really good film. I just think that the 1930s for some might be a little too early. The plot also doesn't seem that fiery compared to the other ones, and there's more action in the other ones.
I will give you a slight nudge in the right direction in that the difference between the highest rated and the lowest rated of these three movies is 1.0. There's a full 1-star difference.
Okay. All right. I still feel like 7 is the lowest, like around 7. So is it like 6.9 to like 7.9 maybe? I don't think anything's an 8. Well, maybe, but I don't think any of these are, because once you get to like 8 and 9 range, you're getting like really good films, and I just haven't seen these. So I will say that I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to say that the highest is like 7.9, and then the lowest is 6.9. Since you gave me that definite range there. And I will also say that the 1930 film Ladies of Leisure is going to be the lowest. Still a good film, I would, if I had to guess, but I just think compared to the other two, I feel like that one is the lowest. So that means that I have to put the other two in first or second. I really don't know, because you got Howard Hawks, Billy Wilder. Like that already tells you that it's going to be potentially a really good film. And then you've got one that was called, like, or at least by somebody, the best pre-code film.
At least according to whoever wrote it in the IMDb trivia.
Right. But it would, exactly. So who knows who that is?
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that these two are going to be pretty close. So maybe like the number one position, as I said, is 7.9. Maybe number two position is like 7.6. Like that's, the gap at most. Okay. So I'll say that I've heard of Babyface. So that feels like I should give that one the number one position here, just because I've heard of it. And I feel like in school they would have just picked it because it was kind of more of a notable film in some kind of attempt to push us towards films that aren't as notable, right? Mm-hmm. Because we had to go home and watch some as well on our own time. So I will say that Babyface. Yeah, I'll say Babyface gets the number one position, and then, like I said, right on the heels will be Ball of Fire. Final answer.
Alrighty. With that, the lowest rated one with a 6.7.
Okay, it was close.
Is Ladies of Leisure.
Okay, I missed that one. Oh, yeah, I got that one right.
Oh, yeah. You had that one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay.
The middle one with a 7.5.
And I said Ball of Fire here.
It's going to be Babyface.
Okay. All right.
And then your highest rated one with a 7.7 is Ball of Fire.
I mean, it makes sense. It's Stanwyck, it's Hawks, it's Wilder. Like that. Like that. That's like throwing a Yahtzee, right? Like you just can't really do much else with that. So
yeah,
makes total sense.
Absolutely. And I moving right along, I do have a quote to go on this week, so that's going to be quote time. And so this one is not going to be dialogue back and forth. It's actually going to be one person giving one line.
Oh, okay.
So that's going to be changing it up slightly from usual.
From last week. Yeah.
So this quote, read directly from IMDb as it's written, reads as follows. When a dress costs over $100, it's a frock.
No, okay. So someone is not happy with the price of this dress.
Yep. Exclamation point.
So when a dress costs more than $100, it's a frock?
Yep.
Did they say bucks?
Yep. Over $100, it's a frock.
Bucks. Were we using bucks as early as the 30s? I don't know. I've got to go with just because bucks. I don't feel like maybe we were using bucks that early, but I feel like bucks tells me it's a more contemporary film. I mean, not by much. Clearly, this is only a decade later, so it's not that much more contemporary. But I will say, I'll say Ball of Fire, 1941.
Okay, and you are wrong.
Oh,
it
dang.
It is from 1930, Ladies of Leisure.
30! We were using it that early. Okay.
Delivered by Kay Arnold, as played by Barbara Stanwyck.
If it costs more than $100, it's a frock. If a dress costs more than $100, it's a frock.
Yep.
She's clearly Clearly not. So someone said something. That's a lovely dress. She got offended. Yeah, exactly. Okay. I know we've already spent a lot of the episode on this, but I can't get away from the idea of these professors in this encyclopedia.
Yeah.
So because we haven't seen this movie.
Oh, you put encyclopedia professors in a mansion and the imagination goes wild.
Yeah, clearly. But because we haven't seen this movie, I would like to figure out, I would like to do our competition where we figure out, how this movie plays out and how accurate our guess is.
That'd be great, because I have quite a few Howard Hawks blind spots, but the ones that I've watched, I've really loved all of his movies that I've seen. In particular, His Girl Friday and Rio Bravo.
I haven't seen that one.
Just excellent work. He's fantastic. Of course, as many of us know, director John Carpenter worships Howard Hawks, his absolute favorite director. My Blu-ray for Rio Bravo has a commentary with John Carpenter for the movie on it. Yes.
Oh wow, fantastic.
He describes it as his favorite movie, and it's just great. So yeah, I'm all for watching more Howard Hawks stuff. So this would be a good excuse to watch this one.
Okay, so do you have? So I said I would like this to be a head-to-head, like we've done before. Let's not work together on this.
Yeah.
Now we sort of did this for Happy Together, and we didn't watch that one. So we got to make sure that we actually watch this one.
Yeah, I still haven't gotten Criterion Channel yet. I need to sign back up.
Okay, so we will update that one eventually. But I just want to make sure that we don't set this.
But until then, we'll bring it up every week on the show until it's eventually watched.
Kind of like Begotten, and then that never happened either. Okay, so we have to watch this. So
I did get a copy of Begotten from sloppyseconsales.com. Along with -1, and I actually just got an email a couple days ago that they are officially on the way, about to ship them. Yeah,
nice, cool.
So anyway,
and then you can watch it and then write IMDb and be like, "Hey, you should update this plot."
Yeah, Charles.
Okay, so do you have any guesses as to how this movie begins? Yeah, so I think we're going to go back and forth each throughout the beginning, middle, and end. Instead of just one of us doing all of it and you doing all of it, we'll go back and forth.
Oh boy, this will be difficult.
So how do you think this movie, like what do you see, or what do you hope to see, the opening few scenes?
So I really, I think I have a very interesting answer. I really truly think that we open on like the exterior of the mansion with the title card. Yeah, and the opening credits fading in and out on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna dolly up to the door, dissolve into the mansion,
into the library,
and we're gonna have a room full of professors, multiple.
How many?
Yeah, it doesn't say a number, does it? I'm going to say that the group of professors is going to be, there's going to be four professors.
Okay. You've had the advantage of at least reading some of the information about the film, so I'll give you.
Other than the synopsis, I have not. Well, and the trivia, but that's it.
Yeah. Okay, so you said 4?
4 professors.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. So we've dollied up, we've dissolved in, see a room with 4 professors. What else? And now, and you're also saying this is the very first thing because you said credits, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think we're literally going to see the 4 professors at different areas within the frame. There's going to be stacks of papers. There's going to be papers strewn about, and they're going to be frantically at work typing up info for their encyclopedia.
All right.
Their updated encyclopedia.
So then I have to ask, and if it's not here, then that's fine. But if it is here, then explain it. When does the mouthy nightclub singer make her appearance?
I think that's going to be the start of Act 2.
Okay, fine. So then where do you take this? Because we've just started here. So where do you take like the next 10, 15 minutes of this film?
That's where we're going to get character establishing for these four professors. I think that it's going to be them working, chatting. I think it's going to be set like background and set up for these four fellas because they don't have a woman working in there with them.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I mean that's pretty. I don't want to say safe. I think that feels right. Is what I'm trying to get at. So I will go another direction slightly. So I say we actually start at the nightclub. I say that I'm going to save the introduction of the Manhattan Mansion and the professors for a little bit later. Why? I haven't decided yet, but I think we're going to just because I think credits and the nightclub music will go better together that way. Yes, yeah, it's modern day EDM. Yeah,
glow sticks.
Yeah,
1941.
That'd be awesome. So
that's pretty much that fucking Gatsby movie from 2015. I
haven't seen it. So we go through the club, and it's very dark. And of course, there's a singular stage, and some act is on stage, but we don't know really because the credits are going in and out. And then I think that our mouthy nightclub singer, who we come into contact with later, is not on stage. I think we maybe see posters of her, like maybe she's like the main act, but she's not on stage yet.
She's backstage telling the club owner to fuck off,
something like that. Yeah, but I think maybe if not all of our professors, I think maybe one or two of them are here, and we meet them in like a booth or at a table, and they're almost like taking a break before they get started for the night, right? That this working on this encyclopedia is something that they kind of do on the side, maybe. So, but they also, I mean, it clearly is important to them because they've dedicated the whole mansion to it, or whatever. At least a room in the mansion is what I'm seeing, along with yours. But I think we meet a couple of them here, if not all of them. They decide to retire to the mansion, so they're calling it a night, last drink or whatever. It's still fairly early. It's not like midnight or anything. And then they leave here, and then we stay at the nightclub. And yeah, I think we do go backstage, maybe like a dressing room. And that's where we get introduced to the mob boss, or like the mob boyfriend first, and then we meet the mouthy Barbara Stanwyck character, and then I think we spend all of our initial introduction, but not necessarily like full on character introduction, but just initial. These are the faces you're going to see throughout the movie type thing here at the nightclub. And then I think we go to the mansion. So that way I can establish that we're going to go back and forth between these two places until something happens at the nightclub that forces our singer to make a run for it. And she runs to the mansion. Okay. So then we go to the mansion, and I really was already thinking the same thing that you kind of said. I think we enter this place, and there's just stacks of like encyclopedias and books, and things are open, and there's like, you know, maybe like there's 4 or 5 professors, but there's like twice or 3 times as many like lit cigarettes around because they just keep like picking them up and putting them down, you know, and walking away. And there's like drinks, and they're kind of like pulling their, you know, hair out because there's a deadline approaching and they got to get this done or whatever. And then I think they're all maybe, I mean, I wanted to say that they're all older, but I feel like maybe there's actually an age range here in the professors. Maybe some are like, a couple of them are fairly old. Like, and what I mean by old is like movie old. Like, there's a couple of them like wearing glasses, and then there's a couple of them not wearing glasses, right? And then, yeah, I think we learn more about them and what they're doing here. and we find out that we establish their characters that we'll later find out are going to be the opposite of her character. So then, to end the first act, I say we go back to the audience goes back to the nightclub where we see some argument, maybe, or like some heated discussion between maybe the owner, like maybe did the synopsis say that the mob boyfriend is the owner of the nightclub? It didn't say that. No, it didn't say that. Okay.
Nope.
So maybe there's like an owner, and then like the mob boyfriend is also involved in this conversation, and it upsets our mouthy nightclub singer, and she's about to go on, and she goes on, sings. We learn that she has a beautiful voice or whatever talent, and then something happens. Like, I don't know yet what, or even if I will ever know. But I think something has to cause her to run, like get upset and just like leave this situation. She clearly has to run from the police. So the police are after her. So maybe I don't know, maybe she like stabs her boyfriend or something. They get into a fight, and she, something along those lines happens, something illegal. But it happens at the nightclub. So then that's what causes her to run, and then she runs to the mansion. And it's like late at night now, sort of thing. And maybe it's raining. And she sees the lights on in the mansion. So I don't think she knows the professors. It's more of like, this is the only house that seemingly has people still awake in it, and I need to hide. So that's why she goes here. And that's the end of the end of Act 1. I think is the same as yours, is where they meet. I
initially was kind of thinking the same thing. Like, she shows up there and it's a random house, and she's like asking for help or whatever.
Yeah.
But as you were talking, I actually changed my mind. So I'm going to go... My guess is going to be that Gary Cooper's character, he's like the lead as far as the group of professors.
He has to
be. Of course. And I'm going to say that he is the brother, or he is in some way like once removed in some fashion, whether friends or a relative of this mob boss.
Oh, okay.
And so because the mob boss knows that the police are on his tail or whatever, and he knows that they're going to want to question her, he drops her off at their place.
Oh.
And so the introduction of him and her character is like, while they're working indoors, we either hear like the screeching from the tires outside, or we hear like just the car horn honk, and they stop their work and they go over and open the door, and then he essentially drops her off there.
Watch my broad. Well, and you hear like sirens in the distance.
I gotta skip town, hot sweet. And yeah, he gets out of there, and they have to they're sheltering her from the police who are looking for her.
That's interesting. I don't know if that feels as right as what you first said about the opening. But also, it'll be awesome if that is true. It is a curious way to take that. Yeah. So I definitely say that they don't know each other. Like, both parties don't know each other. There's never been a connection to anyone. You're saying that there definitely is some kind of at least acquaintanceship or friendship or some level of knowing the mob boss boyfriend and at least one of the professors. Okay.
Also, another side question really quick that I truly don't know the answer to. Is this in black and white or color?
I feel like this is... Oh, well, I was starting to say that and then I stopped. I feel like this is color.
Really?
Yeah.
I was going to say that I feel like this is black and white.
I was going to say that originally, but then I stopped. So. But then I stopped myself and was like, "Well, I don't think so. I think being that this is Hawks, maybe not. That doesn't mean anything at all, really. But I figured like he would want to show that she's this beautiful blonde, and right, Barbara Stanwyck was blonde. I am saying that right, correct? I said that, and I suddenly hesitated that I don't think I'm right, actually. But this beautiful woman, regardless, and because I think I've only ever seen her in black and white, maybe. But I think that she's going to have some kind of, beautiful clothing on. I think I want to go color. And I really do say that, having wanted to originally say, no, it was black and white.
Yeah, I'm going to say black and white. I keep thinking early 40s and kind of a noir-ish type sounding story a little bit. I feel black and white.
Yeah, I don't know if Barbara Stanwyck actually is even blonde. I don't know why I was thinking that. Maybe I'm thinking someone else. But anyway, I think we want to showcase that she's beautiful. And I feel like color is the way to go here. Okay, so what happens throughout the meat of your movie? Now that we know each other, so now that you're saying that there's an established relationship, not only do we have to hide her from the police, but we also have to get her out of the situation with her boyfriend. So maybe this one guy who knows the boyfriend you're saying also knows how he's not a great boyfriend.
Or maybe he is a great boyfriend.
Okay, so then why is she trying to get out of that situation?
She's only trying to stay away from the police because they're wanting to track down her boyfriend.
So then am I misremembering the plot where it says that getting out of the situation with her boyfriend?
Encyclopedia, living in Manhattan Mansion, take a mouthy nightclub singer who is wanted by the police to help bring down her mob boss lover.
Oh, okay. So I did misremember. So she's not necessarily wanting to get out of that situation. The police just want to bring down.
They want to get her so that they can get to him. Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. So I did forget that part. Okay. So then while you're thinking on that, as far as what happens in your meat of the movie, I will go with, I still think that they don't know, that no one knows each other. I think we find out,
we're going to have a new drop that is you saying what happens in your meat.
In your meat. In your meat. What happens in your meat? Buckle up. So clearly I was also wrong in the beginning to say that something happens between her and her boyfriend. I messed that part up. But anyway, I still say that there's like some kind of altercation and she has to get out of it and she flees to the mansion. So now I'll say that because they don't know each other, we find out all this information. I think at some point in time here, the police do come by, but I'm wondering if the police ever leave. I think the police will like search the house for a long time. And that's like a good portion of our film too. Because I really don't know what the climax is going to be. I'll have to think on that. But I think the police are there. We got to raise the tension. We got to, continually like move this mouthy nightclub singer around the house as the police search other areas and stuff, and like the professors are kind of passing her off between each of them in a non-sexual way to hide her. Yeah. Okay. Do you have anything for your meat? What's in your meat?
Well, the only thing that I keep going to is that he isn't a very good partner. Or that more so maybe that she doesn't like have feelings for him. That maybe it's she doesn't want him to get caught.
Yeah.
Perhaps because she's like with him for the money or some shit like that.
Sure.
And so she's just kind of there and maybe like a romance fucking like sparks with one of these guys because it seems like that's kind of the type of thing that happens in these kinds of movies.
Right.
The police show up. I do think that they of course want to check the place, and we're going to have like one of those suspenseful kind of scenes where they're like shuffling her from like room to room, and like the police are like in the area that she just was, but like in the background you see her
always like one step
pass
ahead
by
barely
through the doorway or something. And, I'm trying to think of how the climax comes up as well.
Okay, so what do you think on that? I'm gonna try to get mine out. So, police come to search, maybe like second half of the film. I think she gets caught. But the question is...
I think I do too.
The question is I like your idea saying that maybe there's like a love thing going on. Because I think that just has to, like, I think they're going to be infatuated with her because she's gorgeous and she's the only female in a room full of men. So I think that has to happen. But my
and
question
they've just been looking at words for like weeks.
Yeah, for weeks. Yeah. But my question is like, is she playing them?
Uh-huh.
So does she actually...
That's kind of where I was starting to link.
Does she actually want to have some kind of relationship with any of them? Or is she just using that as a way to get them on her side? Because maybe she's involved with whatever this thing is too, and she's not telling the whole truth. Or she's telling a complete farce just to get them to do what she wants as far as hiding her. So I think that the police come. I think they do eventually find her. I think that the story that she's painted to the professors is a falsehood, but now she has people who can back up her story, even though they have no proof of it other than from her. So whenever the cops start to question her, I think the professors start to step in and be like, well, she wouldn't do that. She's, this or whatever, or, they stand up for her. But my climax is going to be that somehow the mob boyfriend is found. And the climax is that the truth comes out about her to the professors in the moment. So she's there, the police are there, somewhere else, they maybe they get radioed in, hey, we got him or whatever. And they try to arrest her. And then maybe we cut to like a few days later or something, like the next day, and we find out that like everything she said was a lie. I feel like that's really not a good climax, but that's all I can think, because I really don't know how working on a new encyclopedia and some mouthy nightclub singer shows up, like that feels already a 180 from where we just were with the encyclopedia. I don't know what else we do to climax that moment other than just to be like, well, she got caught and everything that she told you was a lie. And, she's also a criminal. She's not this sweet, innocent thing. She's a ball of fire. She's a ball of fire.
My thought was that she also that she plays them. I think the police do not find her.
Oh, okay.
But
so
then,
she just like lives in like a linen closet for the rest of her life.
No, the boyfriend returns.
Oh, okay. So he doesn't get caught either.
At the very end of it. But she has duped one of these guys into murdering him, because if he gets put in prison, then she doesn't get the money or anything. But if she convinces one of them to murder him, then the money goes to her. Like maybe this guy had like a will or something.
Here's the other thing that I failed to implement into this guess. And to call it that is even giving it too much credit. But this is pre-code. So post-code, or code and then post-code, the good guy had to win. The bad guy had to be put away. That was the whole thing about all of this. So that's kind of where my mindset's been at, is that the mob guy has to lose, and because he was wanted by the police. But then you saying that sparked that memory that this is pre-code. So really, no, it can really be the opposite. Like the professors could even be like conned in to like killing the cops or, doing horrible things. And then now they're implicated in this and they don't want to get caught either. So they all run. Like it could be something that crazy. Yeah, so I don't know. So, okay. Do you have anything else that you need to add to yours? Because as far as climax goes, I kind of am still lost on climax on mine.
Nope, I think that's pretty much what mine is. I think
Okay.
she, he gets
Recap
killed.
all of yours.
He gets, okay, so we see a bunch of dudes working on, a bunch of bros, working on their encyclopedia.
Jam pad.
At their ball of fire, as they call it. Mob boss guy who knows Gary Cooper's character in some way drops off his wife because he's got to get out of town,
Right.
or like hide out somewhere until this all blows over.
Yeah.
And because he knows that the cops are coming to look. He knows that if the cops find her, then they'll find him.
Yeah.
And so he hides her at the ball of fire jam pad. And
Mansion
while
a la
there,
encyclopedia.
she explains how she doesn't really care about him. She only cares about his wealth or whatever. She can't have him get caught because that means that the money just stays where it is. But if he gets killed, the money goes to her.
Oh, okay.
A romance ensues, or so they think, between
Passion.
her and one of the gentlemen, probably Gary Cooper's character, perhaps.
Maybe. Yeah.
The police look for her in the mansion. They do not find her, but it's a very suspenseful sequence. They end up leaving. The boyfriend or husband, whatever he is, eventually comes back in. And whenever he comes back, whomever it is that she has been kind of seducing throughout the thing ends up killing him.
Oh, kills the boyfriend?
Yes.
Okay.
Which is what she wanted. And then the police come back and they find him. And she gets away.
So then she's basically not free, but basically like let go because the person the police were after is now dead, so they don't care anymore. Okay, I like that. And then does she end up staying with this person that she's flirted with? Or
no, absolutely not.
Okay, yeah,
No.
she runs away and takes the money, and
he
still
gets
stuck with he's still stuck with his encyclopedia buddies.
And then the encyclopedia, and then the last shot is we zoom in on the page that he was working on, and it was like death or something.
Yeah, or like con. Or
Yeah,
like
quite. Yeah.
I like that. I like
infidelity.
I like that as an ending. Yeah, like coming in on the encyclopedia and it being like a key to the movie. Okay,
I'm gonna go ahead and say I don't think that's the last shot, but I think that would be great.
I like that shot though. Yeah. Okay, so that's your whole film then. I do like that. I'll recap mine. I say that we start. Oh wait, sorry. One question about yours. Are you saying that the entire film is just in this mansion?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe like the whole thing as far as multiple rooms. We never go anywhere else though. Okay.
Yeah.
Because in mine, I said that we start in the nightclub. That's where we first see our characters, and then we end up going to the mansion. We see pretty much the same set that you have, and then we go back to the nightclub. The audience does, the camera does, and we see some kind of backstage scene that shows our mob boyfriend and the main character, the main mouthy nightclub singer. And they get, I said that they get into some kind of argument. Something happens. Someone is stabbed or killed maybe at the nightclub. They then everyone has to kind of run. The only reason that she goes to the mansion is because it's late and she sees a light on and she's just hoping to play like the damsel card. I don't even want to say that she's honest with him about trying to run away from the police at first. I think she's just like, oh, it started to rain and I need some place to go, or somebody's after me, or she plays the victim card initially. So they bring her in. The whole meat of the movie, there is a lot of flirting between all of them. The professors are being heavily distracted from their work by this beautiful woman who's mouthy, and they're definitely not that. I think they're more like introspective. They're more educated. They're more, they filter themselves. They kind of pull in, but she brings that out of them, I think, one by one. So it becomes like more of like a fun atmosphere. And then the police come a knocking, and that's when we find out that, oh, she hasn't been totally honest and that we need to hide her now. I think the police search the place. They do eventually find her. And then I said that I think her boyfriend gets found, but that was, again, before I was thinking about this being pre-code. So I do like your ending, where there's some kind of money thing involved. That whole complexity with there was really nice. Because in mine, I really don't know. I really don't know what the whole setup is. I feel like she is trying to get away from her boyfriend, so maybe she doesn't care what happens to him. I don't know if one of the professors kills him, though. I think maybe he just gets caught by the police. So then that maybe frees her up, because the police have found their guy. So then they kind of let her stay there at the mansion. The police leave. They've lost interest or whatever. So then the final act would be, somehow we the audience, and also at the same time the professors in the room, find out that she's been lying to them the whole time about this whole situation, and that maybe she really is the person that the police should have been going after. And they don't know whether or not they should call the police back or not. And that raises alarms with her. She starts to freak out. And then I think there is one professor who is so infatuated by her that the one professor starts to handle the other professors who want to call the police. I don't know if that means like murder them or, punch them or knock them out or whatever. Because he wants to go with this chick and he wants this life. And then as far as if they ride off into the sunset, Bonnie and Clyde style, I don't know. I really don't know how mine ends. But I would like to have my last shot be it zooming in on one of the words in the encyclopedia. I do like that a lot. So yeah, I have no idea if we're even close at all. It'll be fun to watch and see if we hit any of these points. I think we maybe got a couple things close, but
yeah, I think that's about as confident as I am.
Yeah, I think Mr. Wilder and Mr. Hawks
maybe got a couple of things close.
Yeah, much better than us. All right, what was that called again? It was called The Dame in the Closet. That's what it's called.
The Dame in the Meat.
the meat of my movie.